Wonder what letter Nora will call.
X.
There is an X!
Hey everyone, I'm Ben Schneider, and 3 Christmases ago, I uploaded a video looking back at 10 of my favorite crossovers between the world of motorsports and the world of game shows. But the list of such crossovers doesn't stop at just 10. So today, I'm back to take a look at 10 more times these two worlds collided in one way or another. And just like last time, I'll start with a few honorable mentions. As I mentioned in the last video, sometimes the line between game show and reality competition is somewhat blurred. So while it was fun watching Carson Elledge competing on the 2nd season of Claim to Fame, Michael Andretti competing on the 5th installment of Celebrity Apprentice, Hendrick pit crew member Chase Rice on Survivor Nicaragua, and Quint Boyer hosting a challenge on seasons 7 and 11 of The Biggest Loser, shows like that aren't going to be considered for this list right here. So again, with that disclaimer taken care of, let's jump into the list. Number 10. Joseph Newgarden appears on Nashville Squares. Yeah, we get on IndyCar's case all the time for not marketing their drivers well enough, but when it comes to game show appearances, they actually have a pretty decent track record. In the last video, I brought up the IndyCar team that competed on Celebrity Family Feud, as well as AJ Foyt and Ray Haroon's appearance on I've Got a Secret way back in 1961. And in 2019, Tennessee's own Joseph Newgarden got to make an appearance on the Bob Saget-hosted country-themed revival of Hollywood Squares on CMT. Number 9. NASCAR drivers appear on Donny Osmond's Pyramid. Last time we brought up when Family Feud hosted a week's worth of episodes featuring NASCAR stars, but they weren't the first syndicated game show to do this. In 2002, Pyramid was revived in syndication with host Donny Osmond, and in November of 2003, the show brought in several NASCAR drivers to act as contestants' celebrity partners for the week, including Jeremy Mayfield, Tony Stewart, Matt Kenseth, Kurt Busch, Jamie McMurray, and even Christian Fittipaldi. Number 8. Jeremy Clarkson hilariously owns Piers Morgan on an F1 question. In 2018, ITV revived the UK version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and they settled on Top Gear's Jeremy Clarkson as their new host. Being very familiar with the world of cars and motorsports, Clarkson obviously knew the answer to a Formula One question about Lewis Hamilton's former teammates, one that celebrity contestant Piers Morgan answered incorrectly, and Clarkson made sure he did not let an opportunity to roast Morgan go to waste.
You've humiliated yourself.
Sticking with British Millionaire for a second, here's a much more serious entry at number 7. Andrew Townsley's £1 Million question. Townsley appeared on the show in 2020 and advanced all the way to the £1 Million question, where he was asked which iconic motor race was held first, the 24 Hours of Le Mans, Monaco Grand Prix, Indy 500, or Isle of Man TT. Ultimately, Townsley didn't know the answer and was forced to walk away. But for me, as a race fan, it was still a pretty cool moment, and also one of the very, very few times I actually knew the answer to a top prize question on Millionaire. Le Mans' first race was in 1923, Monaco's in 1929, and Indy's in 1911. But the Isle of Man TT was first held 4 years prior in 1907, making it the correct answer. Number 6. Obscure game shows on Speed Channel. We may look back at the Speed Channel era through rose-colored glasses today, but the reality is that a lot of, well, reality-style programming infiltrated the network towards the end of its run. One of these shows was Pastime, a drag racing-themed game show where contestants had to guess how fast a car could race down a drag strip. Another was a quiz show called NASCAR Smarts, which had the misfortune of being reviewed by Game Show Garbage just a couple of years ago. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I had limited access to cable growing up, so I don't have much memory of either of these shows. And they're so obscure that neither one of them even has a Wikipedia article. So it's possible there's other game show programming out there from Speed that I haven't even discovered yet. And if there is, please feel free to let me know in the comments, because this is a rabbit hole where I admittedly haven't made it down that far just yet. Number 5. Jesse Owuji appears on You Bet Your Life. Back to syndication for this one. In 2021, Jay Leno hosted a revival of You Bet Your Life distributed by Fox First Run, and in November of that year, NASCAR driver Jesse Owuji made an appearance as a contestant. I can't tell you how well he did though, because apparently when the show was cancelled last year, their entire YouTube channel was set to private, and even their website appears to have been completely wiped of all of its content. So, that's a bummer. And Fox, if you happen to be watching this, go ahead and unprivate that content. There's no reason for it to be hidden at this point, and I'd love to go back and see how well Jesse actually did. Number 4. Jimmy Johnson presents an offer on Deal or No Deal. In 2008, at the start of Season 4's $1 Million Mission, NASCAR fan Gary Cody was a contestant on Deal or No Deal. And to sweeten one of his offers, the banker brought in NASCAR champion Jimmy Johnson to give a NASCAR-themed offer that included a Daytona 500 trip, the Richard Petty driving experience, $2,000 of a NASCAR.com Superstore, and a helmet signed by every then active NASCAR driver. This was on top of the $30,000 the banker had originally offered in cash. Gary ultimately said no deal to the offer, but maybe he should have taken it considering he only walked away with $10,000 at the end of the episode. Number 3. Wendell Scott's family appears on Family Feud. Wendell Scott was the first black driver to win a race in what's now known as the NASCAR Cup Series. And in 2021, 58 years after he won that race, Scott's family made an appearance on a Disney-themed episode of The Feud, winning their game, the $20,000 Fast Money Round, and a vacation at Walt Disney World, as well as a copy of a Disney edition of the Family Feud board game for good measure. Number 2. Zach Brown appears on Wheel of Fortune. 1 year before Sam Schmidt won big on Press Your Luck, another future team boss in the world of motorsports made a game show appearance of his own, as Zach Brown took home $3,050 for solving the puzzle Wild Bill Hickok. When the clip of Brown's appearance on the show resurfaced earlier this year, the McLaren CEO himself confirmed it was him, and also said the money he won was enough to buy himself a go-kart. So, does that mean the foundation for the 2024 Formula One Constructors' Championship was built on a Wheel of Fortune appearance of all things? I guess you could say so in some ways. And speaking of McLaren, number 1. Peter Revson's uncle and father's direct connection to the game show scandals. Race fans know Peter Revson is one of the best Formula One drivers ever to come out of the United States, winning 2 Grand Prix races for McLaren in 1973 and finishing second in the 1971 Indy 500 to Al Unser Sr. But it was Peter's uncle and father, Charles and Martin Revson, who were directly connected to the quiz show scandals of the 1950s. The Revson's cosmetics company, Revlon, was a major sponsor of the $64,000 question, which, along with shows such as 21, was one of the quiz programs that was accused of being fixed by its producers, allowing popular contestants to continue their winning streaks in an effort to boost the show's ratings. Producers actually accused Martin directly of being the one who ordered them to control the questions to do this, though Martin feigned ignorance when testifying in court.
When the truth about rigged shows was revealed, the Revson brothers were swept up in the controversy that dominated attention. Investigations on game shows went all the way to the U.S. Congress. While producers said Martin Revson ordered the rigging, he testified that Revlon was entirely unaware the show was rigged.
If you want to learn more about this story and Peter Revson's racing career as a whole, check out the video by NASCAR Man History and narrated by my own editor-in-chief at NASCAR.info, Brock Buer. So, there you have it. A long overdue look at 10 more instances of motorsports and game show crossovers. I know there's a few more out there, but I might be stretched a bit thin if I had to come up with a part 3. So feel free to let me know in the comments any others you can think of that I might have missed. Until next time, I'm Ben Schneider, thanks for watching, and in the words of Chase Elliott,
Merry off-season and a happy Christmas.